Hi, welcome to today's Lenten devotional. Today is Friday, March 20th, and it's a spring day outside. It's nice and warm, and the birds are out. So I hope you can find some time to get out and breathe some fresh air and enjoy God's presence in your life. I want to begin today by reading a scripture passage out of Paul's letter to the Philippians. It's the second chapter, beginning at the first verse. If you have any encouragement from being united with Christ, if any comfort from his love, if any fellowship with the Spirit, if any tenderness and compassion, then make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and purpose. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves. Each of you should look not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. As we read and hear those words, it reminds me that sometimes it's difficult for us to not be able to do something without thinking about how it's going to benefit us. For example, the other day, my wife was shopping at the store and she bought some items and noticed how there was kind of a run on toilet paper. And it seemed that some people just felt the need to stock up with a lot of it. But what that meant was other people then weren't going to be able to have some, because they weren't sharing it necessarily. It happens. But that's what we're called to do, is to think of other people as God's people. And true love means putting someone else's needs above our own. And the funny thing about that is that when we really live this way, when we think about other people and include them in our thinking, we find out that we are much happier. If we give love, then love is more likely to be returned to us. And in that sense, we're always going to feel loved. And when we forget about ourselves and serve other people, every good thing we receive feels like a true blessing because we're not expecting it. I used to hear about the acronym for joy was Jesus, others, and yourself. And that's the definition of joy. That when you think about Jesus and you serve others, then you yourself will experience joy. Jesus wasn't asking us to give up being happy, but rather he was giving us the key to finding true happiness, and not just thinking about ourselves, but thinking about others and finding ways to share God's gift of love. So what is Jesus saying to you today as we hear this? The story reminded me of when I was a teenager growing up in Somerville, and my home church, St. Luke's Lutheran Church, was getting ready to adopt a refugee family from Vietnam. I remember this because my dad, I believe, was on the committee to help bring the family into Somerville. The church had somehow procured a house, and they'd gotten a car. They'd found some small jobs for the people to be a part of, and there was a man and a woman and his two children, and it was a mother, the grandmother was there also. I remember going to the house with my dad, and we would mow the grass, we would do some painting and do some minor repairs to get the house ready, maybe bring in some furniture. And then I was there to greet the family as they came in, and to be kind of as we used to say, the human skin with God's love. We visited many times, and a couple times they would even invite us over for a meal. And when we did that, they made us feel like such honored guests because we were there celebrating this intimate time together with them. A couple weeks in, or maybe a month or two in, I can't remember, the father of the family, Gong Pham was his name, came to our house, and there was a knock on the door. I answered it, and he asked if my dad was home. My dad came out, and we sat on the front porch, and Gong Pham simply wanted to be there to share his appreciation for all of the efforts that we had done. And he gave my dad a plaque. And on it, the plaque said, "Friendship is so precious, it can't be bought with gold. But friendship everywhere abounds, for loving hearts to hold." He was so appreciative of this outreach and this gift of being able to start anew in a new country. And more than that, a gift of love that was given to him, possibly by me and my dad, but also the others that surrounded him and his family during their time of need. And he wanted to give back because it made him feel so full. So what is Jesus saying to you today as you hear these words about, yes, taking care of yourself, but also thinking of others, and sometimes putting others first as well. A couple of announcements for today before we continue. One is that we still are in our same worship mode that through the end of March, we're not going to be having worship at church. We are trying to put together an audio and a visual for this coming Sunday and look for it on our Facebook page and possibly our YouTube page as well. And we invite you to share this Facebook page and our YouTube page with others if you feel that they might benefit from watching some of the videos as well. But today I hope you have a blessed day and think about how God is present in your life. And think of how, as we receive God's love, we're also called to give it. Let's have a prayer together. Jesus, walk beside me, live in me, and help me find you today. Forgive me, give me strength, help me know your compassion for me that I may share it with others. And fill my life with everything that you know I need, for that will always be enough. Amen. God's peace. Have a great day and hope to see you soon.